Hello, I'm Chris Williams from Read Comics They're Bad For You. We're going to be reviewing episode 6 of Good Omens. Here we start with the beginning of the episode, which left off with Crowley and Aziraphale, who's been possessing Madame Tracy and her friend, Witch Hunter Sergeant. At least that's what I'm calling them in these episodes. They arrived just as the Antichrist and his friends entered the U.S. military base. Here they're looking back as Crowley's car explodes, while the soldier who's holding up the gate points his gun at them. Crowley's car weathered its way through a big old firestorm, but then gives up the ghost as he arrives at the military base. He spends a moment mourning it while Aziraphale teleports the guard away somewhere. Here we can see the four horsemen inside the communications centers. The four horsemen are getting ready to prime all the missiles in the world to fire on every country in the world, thus ending the entire planet and the reign of mankind. They talk about how wonderful it's going to be with all the war happening and all the people dying, and how all the people will end up starving, and all the pollution that will be created from all the nuclear waste that will be blown into the atmosphere. They are generally acting their part as the destroyers of mankind, and for the most part, these guys are more entertaining than the kids who confront them. Adam Young and his friends are the worst part of this entire series. When they fight the four horsemen, all Aziraphale and Crowley can do is cheer on from the sidelines as they face down the horsemen. The girl takes on war, and she says it's just a male-dominated male subjugation thing, and it's all SJW nonsense, and defeats war, while the other characters take on famine and pollution, defeating them easily. Death says that nothing has ever ended, will always be there, and he uses his black wings to teleport away. Afterwards, the forces of heaven and hell ask the Antichrist to keep letting the apocalypse happen, but Adam Young says no, mainly because they want the world to end. Both heaven and hell want to know who the ultimate winner will be. So when they go back home, the devil himself causes an earthquake, making sure that everyone knows that his arrival is imminent. But that's what Crowley says, because when he feels the earth shake, he knows the devil is coming. So Crowley uses all his power to whisk Aziraphale and the Antichrist away for a few precious moments to a place where Crowley and Aziraphale can talk to the Antichrist. They congratulate him on that he has made the right decision. They also say that Aziraphale says, I feared you at first, but then I did try with another kid who I thought was you, that I wanted him to be, I wanted him to be a savior. But you're even better than that. You're not a devil or a savior. You're a human. And that's totally all what you are, Adam. Here we can see the place where Crowley took them. Crowley used his power to maybe stop time, or this might be inside their heads, or teleported them away to a desert so they could have a few precious moments to talk before the devil arrives. Adam Young's real father. Here we can also see Aziraphale's flaming sword. Apparently War had been using it for some odd reason. And apparently it didn't take long for Aziraphale to get the knack of getting a piece of metal to flame up again. Now, the talk between Aziraphale and Crowley with the Antichrist is really entertaining. Though I have to say Adam Young continues to be a rather boring character. But luckily his friends don't have much more to do in this episode. And eventually Adam Young's real father, the devil, arrives. He tells the boy to come to him, wanting to punish him for not bringing about the apocalypse. Adam Young, for all his power, just says, "You're not my father. You were not there for me for the last 11 years. And it's just more boring nonsense, more NPC nonsense. The kid might as well be just an SJW, because it sounds like he's just rehearsing lines I've read and been talked to from lately from people who have been SJWs. His character is horrible. Though he does transform the devil into his own father. No, he literally transforms him into his human father. Meaning the devil had been no one else but the man who had raised Adam for the last 11 years. Meaning the devil no longer existed on earth or in hell anymore. After it's done, they all go home. Adam goes home with his family. But Crowley and Aziraphale are visited by their respective factions. The demons from hell kidnapped Crowley, while the angels apprehended Aziraphale. They are going to execute Crowley and Aziraphale, because apparently the devils and angels are working alongside each other for this one case. For Aziraphale, they brought some hellfire to burn him away to nothing. With Crowley, Michael, the angel, brings holy water down to hell and fills a bathtub with it, which they are going to use to kill Crowley. Well, for all your supposed hatred of each other, apparently if you find someone you hate even more, both heaven and hell will work together. And it's rather boring, and rather saying that, it also feels like I really hate it. Of course, Crowley and Aziraphale survive. Apparently they become immune to hellfire with Aziraphale, and Crowley is now immune to holy water. And we switch over to Anathema and Percival. They are now in a relationship, and it looks like she's going to marry Percival. But guess what happens? Agnes Nutter leaves them a present that's delivered to them at Percival's home, or rather Anathema's home, that she had been renting. And she opens the gift, and guess what? Agnes Nutter sent her descendant an entire new book dedicated to the future that was created when the Antichrist did not destroy the world. The further predictions of Agnes Nutter. Basically, it tells what will happen in the world now. All Anathema can do is look somewhat sad at seeing the book, because I think she feels like if she continues to have this book and this knowledge, she will continue to be a slave to it. Well, what happens later on is Percival convinces her to burn the book and live free without any worry about what the future will bring. And so she basically destroys something that could make you incredibly rich by burning it page by page. Adam Young applauds them and just smiles at them and eats an apple when he passes by them while they're burning the book. It's a good ending for them. They're most definitely going to get married and have kids and a family. And Adam Young continues to play with his dog, while eating apples and that he's stolen from that old guy who kept pestering people throughout the entire series. Of course, we end with Crowley and Aziraphale. It turns out the reason why they're immune to hellfire and holy water is because they'd actually switched each other's appearances. That means Crowley was actually Aziraphale when he was bathing in hellfire, and Aziraphale had been disguised as Crowley. And this is how the show ends, with most likely heaven and hell working its way against their powers against both all of mankind and Aziraphale and Crowley. At least that's what they say. And I feel like that's kind of like they're trying to say heaven and hell is no good for mankind, and I really hate that. Sort of anti-religious rhetoric from Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. The show was good, except for the occasional SJW comment that inevitably was put into this series. But it was a good series, and I did enjoy it. I really enjoyed it when we didn't focus on those kids, because I really found them abominable. But otherwise, this entire series and episode 6 were good. But not as good as the first 4 episodes, I would say. Now, if you like this review, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos but you have not subscribed, please subscribe to me. Also, I want you to hit that bell so you get notifications for all my videos. And hit that like button and leave some comments down below. Also, keep checking back in future videos for more information on my own upcoming future independent comic book, Scumdogs. Also, check out my BitChute account that my account is listed under Comic Freak. I'll be uploading all my videos there as well. So I'll be seeing you at BitChute. Come to that site to see my episodes if YouTube continues going down the drain.